This is the SAU Report, a program featuring interviews with the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.
Welcome. This is another edition of the SAU Report. I'm Charles Lawson.
And I'm David Parkerson. Today we will be interviewing SAU football head coach Steve Roberts. Steve Roberts, how does it feel to be ranked in the top 20 NCAA Division II?
It's great. It's a great boost for our program. We finished the year last year ranked 10th in the nation, and we've been as high as number 3 in the nation out of 156 schools. So it's a tribute to the people in our program and to our university and all that we've been able to accomplish.
This is something that's been happening since '97. What do you feel contributes to this recent success?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It all boils down to recruiting. 4 years ago, we had an opportunity to recruit our first class here. We had 9 true freshmen that started in that ball game, and now those guys are seniors. And last year, we had many of those guys as juniors. So just the experience level of those people that we've had an opportunity to recruit and retain here at school has been the key. Just to give you an example, that first year that I was here as head coach, we traveled 21 freshmen to a game against West Georgia. 18 of those freshmen played in the ball game. This past 2 weeks ago, we traveled 8 freshmen to a game. So just the level of experience on our football team has been probably the main thing that has helped us.
What fine-tuning do you feel is needed for the Mule Riders to make the championship this year?
Well, we've got to stay healthy. That's going to be the biggest key, and that's the key for everybody in Division II. You have a limited number of scholarships, so you have limited personnel to work with. So staying healthy is going to be a big key, and we've got to prepare each week physically and mentally and emotionally, and to go out focused in all 3 of those areas to have a chance to be a national championship type football team.
What exactly determines the difference between a Division I and Division II school?
Well, a Division I school, the first thing that you would say would be the determination between them is the amount of money that they receive. Division II schools in football have 36 scholarships to give, where in Division I they have 85 scholarships to give. You know, your Division I schools are traditionally your larger institutions, you know, the University of Arkansas and Texas A&M and Alabama and Notre Dame and those type schools. The smaller institutions normally field, you know, Division II and Division III teams.
Has SAU ever played a Division I school?
Not that I'm aware of, not at least in recent history. Several years ago, of course, there were no divisions in the early 1900s, so you played just whoever you could play, basically. So we would play Louisiana Tech and Arkansas and so forth, but they were more club-oriented sports then than they are intercollegiate sports like they are now.
What are the various championships a college football team can win? Because from what I understand, I know there's a big national championship, but there's also like division championship, regional championships. Exactly how many championships are there?
Well, right now our goal is to win a conference championship. We're in the Gulf South Conference, which has 10 football playing schools, 5 from the state of Arkansas, 2 from Mississippi, 2 from Alabama, and 2 from Georgia. It's a tremendous football league, and we've got 9 conference games. We've got to be prepared each week in order to have a chance to win a conference championship. After that comes a regional championship. To the national playoffs, the top 4 teams in each region. There's a West region, a Midwest region, a North region, and a Southeast region. And we're in the Southeast region, and 4 of the teams in each region go to the playoffs, and they have a 2-game playoff to see who wins the regional championship, and then the 4 regional championships, or championship teams play for the national championship.
Which is stronger, Mule Rider offense or defense?
Oh, it's about even. You know, we have games where one particular unit will carry the other. Defense, we've done tremendous over the past year and a half. We've only had, in the past 19 games, we've only had one opponent score over 28 points on us, and only 2 over that same time span have gained over 300 yards against our defense. Last year, We led the conference in every defensive category, in scoring defense, total defense, run defense, pass defense, and we're in the top 10 in every national category defensively. This year our offense has been much improved. Last year was the first year that we had ran the wishbone offense, and the guys this year have a lot more experience doing that. Last week against UCA, we put 52 points on the board. We put 44 against Monticello. The offense has just done a tremendous job, but it's a team effort. You know, you really can't say which one's the best or which one carries the other. When the offense does good, the Riders will win. When the defense does well, the Riders will win, and that's what we're all about, is trying to make a team concept. Special teams have done tremendous this year. Jason Williams has broken his own school record now 3 times. The school record for a field goal was 46 yards. He hit a 47 in our first game, then a 49, and then last week or 2 weeks ago against West Georgia, he hit a 53-yard field goal. So special teams have done a tremendous job. Jeff Sesteres returned a punt for a touchdown, which broke a school record of 84 yards. Kickoff return team and punt return team both lead the conference in return yardage. So, you know, it's a team effort. You know, you can't say one particular unit out of the 3 are carrying. We're playing well in all 3 phases of the game.
As a lot of people are aware, there is a lot of prominent drug use in pro and amateur athletes. What are some of the steps that you and some of the other coaches are taking to help prevent this, or to help regulate, or to at least help stomp it out?
Well, first off, there's the drug use that you're referring to is illegal. It's not only illegal by our country, but it's also illegal by our governing body, the NCAA. We have random, regular drug tests for our athletes, and that's football, basketball, track, cross country, all the athletes, male and female, here on campus. We have a drug policy that goes into effect, and all of our athletes sign drug release statements, or drug testing release statements, which allows the NCAA at any time to come in and test our athletes for the use of steroids or any other illegal or street drug. And so that in itself is the deterrent. They can stand a chance of not maintaining their scholarship, not practicing, not playing, if they're found using these drugs.
So do you feel that the drug use has really declined in the past few years in comparison to previous years?
Oh, no doubt. But the deterrent from the NCAA has been in effect for several years. I can remember several prominent players for major bowl games that did not have an opportunity to play because of their steroid use. So the NCAA has a definite deterrent towards steroid and illicit drug use.
What are some training techniques you use to train the mule riders?
Well, we train year-round. Weightlifting, running, and then, of course, the practice sessions that we have. The NCAA allows us to spend 20 hours a week with our football team on practice, meetings, film, anything that's non-academic time. And we use pretty much the whole 20 hours for just that. Normally our guys come in at 3 o'clock. We have a meeting from 3 to 3:30, and then they're on the field at 3:45, off the field at 5:45. Sometimes they have to go to the weight room, or at least twice a week we go to the weight room after practice and get 30 minutes or 45 minutes of weightlifting in. During the off season, it's a very, very stringent, very tough, very demanding schedule that our athletes have to perform in order to maintain their competitiveness on the football field. The training in strength training, flexibility training, speed training, conditioning training is very stringent.
So at what point in the year do you begin training for the season?
It's year-round, Charles. Really, they don't get any break. They get a break when they get away from us during Christmas, but even when they go home for their summer break, they're sent a summer manual. That's a 6-day-a-week program that they have to follow during the summer in order to report back in shape.
How many coaches does it take to coach a football team?
Well, that's different on different levels. Here at SAU, I have 3 full-time assistants that work with football. We have 4 graduate assistants who are recent college graduates who are getting their master's degree, going to graduate school here at SAU. And we have 2 student coaches that played in our program or were familiar with our program, and now they're finishing out their collegiate career helping us coach. So on our staff, we have a total of 10. And when you go to Division I, they have a full-time staff of 9, rather when we have a full-time staff of 4. So there's a lot of differences even among Division II teams. Every school in the league has more full-time coaches than we do.
Earlier you talked about recruiting. What are some of the processes that you do to recruit?
Well, recruiting is like training. It's a year-round matter. The NCAA does have guidelines of what we can do in recruiting as far as leaving our campus, what we can do through phones, what we can do as far as visitations to our campus for recruits, and we have to follow all of those guidelines. Basically, it starts at the beginning of the season for a senior high school player. We will be going out on Friday nights watching players all around the area in Arkansas, North Louisiana, and East Texas. We have a book of evaluations from the high school coaches. They send us their recommendations for the people on their team that they think can play for us. We go watch them. We get their transcripts. And then on December 1st of each year, that's the first day that we can have contact with these players. So all we've done up until this point this year, is just go watch players and talk to coaches about players. Starting December 1st, we'll actually go visit with those players at their high school setting or in their home and try to get to know them a little bit better and start that recruiting process on a personal level. We will be getting tons of film. We'll come back, and for a little over a week, we won't leave our office. We'll watch film from daylight way past dark. We'll eat in the office and trying to find the players that suit us, that we feel like can help our program, and then we go recruit them. We go try to sell Southern Arkansas University. In that process, we try to sell 4 things. First off, we try to sell the academic programs at SAU, which we want every young man to come in and feel like that's his primary goal, is to get a college education. Secondly, we want to sell our football team. We want to sell the different aspects of our football team, our offense, our defense, our kicking games, their opportunities to play, the success of our football team, just every little thing about our team we want them to feel comfortable with. Then we try to sell the location of the school and how that relates to where they're from, whether they're from a big city or a small town, or from 15 miles away or 500 miles away. We try to point out the benefits of the location of our school. And then the 4th thing we really hone in on is the people in our program. We feel like that's the number 1 thing. People choose Southern Arkansas to play football because of the people that are involved in our program. And our athletes do a great job in recruiting other athletes to get here because they know how they're treated when they're here. So we use those 4 things as part of their recruiting. Once that's over in February, we sign athletes that we've offered scholarships to and that they've accepted those scholarships, and we sign them and expect them to come in August, and then we start all over again.
What do you look for whenever you recruit an athlete?
3 things. The first off is academics. It does not matter how good an athlete is on the football field, how big he is, how fast he can run, if he's not eligible. We have to go by the NCAA standards of eligibility. They have to have a 2.0 in 13 core classes, and they have to have a 68 composite on their ACT score, or 17 total on their ACT. It's extremely beneficial to us to recruit people that can maintain their academic level, maintain their eligibility. So that's the first thing we look at, is academics. The second thing that we look for is talent, and we see that on film. We see how well a person can play the game. With the talent, though, you have to mix in what you need. And on our level, you don't go out and recruit a new team every year. We don't have enough scholarships to do that. We have to recruit to the positions that we need. So we're looking for talent that's specific to the situation that we have here. And then the third thing we look for is character. We feel like in our program that character wins close ball games. So we have a great number of people on our football team that have outstanding character, and that's crucial to us. Guys that are going to maintain a positive image of themselves, a positive image of the program and the university, and can go out and lay it on the line for each other. Those three things are crucial in our recruiting: the academics, the talent, and the character.
Are all players covered by an insurance policy?
What we do if a young man gets hurt, if they have insurance back home, our athletic training staff will file the claim on their insurance policy. Whatever their insurance policy doesn't pay, then our insurance policy will pay. Like if they paid 90% with a $200 deductible, well, we would pay the $200 deductible plus the 10% that wasn't paid by their insurance. If they don't have insurance, then our insurance pays for everything. We are responsible for the young men in our program. We're responsible for the health of the young men in our program. Football is a contact sport. There's an amount of risk that's involved in every single play and every single practice in the game of football, and our athletes accept that risk knowing that we're going to take care of them financially and through the doctors and the support staff that we have.
Do you ever take walk-ons?
We have a tremendous number of walk-ons in our program. It's an area that we really work hard at. Like I said, we have 36 scholarships, and that's not enough to field a football team in our conference. We have got to depend on walk-ons to come in and to contribute to the amount of success on our football team. We have several walk-ons that travel with us every year, several walk-ons that have earned scholarships and made significant contributions to our football team. Walk-ons are not treated any differently than the scholarship players on our team. Everybody's treated the same. We don't get paid to play the guys that we evaluated from high school as being the best. We get paid to play the best people. We want to win, and whether he's a walk-on or a scholarship athlete, we're going to stick the best people out there on the football field and give them an opportunity to win.
Have any mule riders gone pro?
We've had several in the past that have gone pro. Most notably last year, Fred Perry was picked by the Baltimore Ravens. Unfortunately for Fred, he had knee surgery right after his second training camp and was released by their team. Fred is working hard now. He's here in Magnolia, and the Baltimore Ravens have said that they will pick him up again for next year's squad, and hopefully Fred will report in great shape and a little stronger and have his knee problems worked out by then. One of the more notable guys that have, from our program, that has gone pro is Woodbury, Dennis Woodbury out of Texarkana. He was a defensive back for us for 4 years and played with the Washington Redskins, the Atlanta Falcons. His most notable game was the Super Bowl in 1980. Dennis started at cornerback for the Washington Redskins and did a tremendous job. Has a Super Bowl ring. After that year, I believe he was traded to the Falcons and played a few years with the Falcons. David Ward, who's a linebacker for us, played for the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots. Kenneth Brown, a wide receiver, bounced around for a while. So you look at those players that have played in the NFL. We've had several that have played in the CFL. A former player that I coached here, Bobby Evans. Bobby played with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers when they won a Grey Cup championship in the Canadian Football League. Greg Stuman out of Spring Hill, Louisiana. Greg was a tremendous player. He was the defensive most valuable player in the league, in the CFL, for several years. So we've had several that have gone on to that level.
Exactly what is the CFL?
It's the Canadian Football League. It's like the National Football League is the professional league here in the United States, and Canada has their own professional league.
Do you prefer coaching over teaching?
I like them both, David. Teaching provides an outlet from some of the stress sometimes of coaching. It's an opportunity to be around a lot of different young people. I teach math here at the university, and I really enjoy it. Again, sometimes that's the best part of my day, is being around the people that I have in class and have an opportunity to teach something other than football. I couldn't say that I enjoy one of them more than the other one. I know I definitely put more time into coaching than I do into teaching. I've taught the same class here now for 20 or 22 different semesters, and that's a joy to not have that that preparation, that you have if you're teaching a different class every semester. Football-wise, it's a 80-hour-a-week job, and you have to work extremely hard in order to have your team prepared for each game. But I enjoy both of them. Coaching provides a little different outlet than teaching does, though.
Could you emphasize a little bit on coaching and teaching? From what I understand, in a lot of states, if you're a head coach, you have to teach. Now, is that something national, or is that just some in a few states? Or?
It depends on the institution that you're coaching at. Several universities in our conference, the head coach does not teach. Most of the assistants in our conference, the assistant coaches in our conference, do teach class, but most of the head coaches do not have class that they have to teach, especially during football season. But that's fine. Like I said earlier, I enjoy that. But teaching and coaching are a lot the same. Both of them, you have a specific amount of information that you have to get off to either the people in your class or your teammates, and try to do that in a manner where they'll understand it and be prepared to perform, whether it's in their homework or test or out on the game field.
How long have you been coaching?
I graduated college in 1987. I came here for the season of the year of 1987-89 as a graduate assistant. Moved to Texarkana in 1988-89 and part of 90, and coached high school football in Texarkana, and then came back here in 1990. And what is this, 98? So I guess this is my 12th year in coaching.
Do you feel that you would ever like to coach a pro team, and if so, what team do you think you'd like to coach?
Charles, I really don't have any aspiration of coaching professional football. The type of family life that you have to give up in order to reach that level, and I'm really not willing to do that right now. I have a 3-year-old daughter, Abby, and a great wife, and I enjoy spending time with them and doing other things other than just coaching. We work extremely hard. Like I said, we work 72 to 80 hours, each week, which is a lot of hours spent. But when you get to that level and what it takes to get to that level, it's very, very, very difficult. My main emphasis, and has always been this, wherever you coach, wherever you teach, do the best job you can there, and then don't worry about what would happen after that. And that's our approach here. All of our coaches, we're not looking to go anyplace else. We're looking to do the best job that we can here for Southern Arkansas.
What has been your greatest accomplishment as a coach, that you feel?
Oh, well, you can look at things, the success on the football field, but the greatest accomplishment would probably be the relationships that you have an opportunity to develop with not only your colleagues and coaches, but your players. When you see young men come into the program from a background where they have no chance of success, and they leave here with a college education and get a great job and have success for themselves and their family, that's the greatest thing. And, you can look back and say, well, last year, we won the Gulf South Conference. We were ranked 10th in the nation. We were the first team in Arkansas to ever win a GSC title in any male sport. You look at those things, but the true success or true accomplishments come, 10, 12, 15 years down the line when those guys call you and say, hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, or, my life is successful because of some of the things that happen in our program. That's the true success. All this stuff on the football field is fleeting, but the lifestyle changes that these young men make, our coaches make, we make in our program, that's the biggest accomplishment.
Well, that concludes another edition of the SAU Report. I'm Charles Lawson.
And I'm David Parkerson.
The SAU Report is a production of broadcast journalism students in the Department of Theater and Mass Communication at Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.